Morning. Welcome in, Jen, you, and Kitty Care, and Nana, and Cassie Hat, and Deb's Why Not, and Lydia Luke. Welcome in. Read the show notes. Make sure you are following each other and bookmarking each other's shows, networking with one another. Time will tell, Thrifts. Welcome in. Good morning. So I'm here on the treadmill. This is my normal Tuesday walk and talk. I do this show every Tuesday and Thursday mornings. I'm on my treadmill walking while we chat about whatever is on your minds, whatever things you need help with. Please read the show notes and ask any questions with a question mark in the chat so they show up as bold. Welcome, Purdue fan. Thanks for joining. All right, Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, and what's everybody got going on today on Whatnot? Do you have a show today? Do you have a show tomorrow? Are you doing shows yet? How's it going? Welcome in, Olive Prond. Thanks for joining. Please read the show notes and tell us what you've got going on. So this is a show where you are free to promote and shout out your shows. Tell everyone what you have going on. Please follow each other and bookmark each other's shows and network together and do all that good stuff and ask your questions. And I usually have, some specific things I'll share in every show. Just depends on what's going on, what's new, and so on. In the show notes, there are 4 starred bullets. Make sure you have those screenshotted so you can refer back to them. And those are the places that you need to be going for help. Besides coming to these shows, if you just have general questions or need help figuring out how to do something on Whatnot, you should be utilizing those resources. So make sure you have those screenshotted. Debs, Why Not? You've been away from Whatnot for almost 2 years. Yeah, I recognize your name. Used to be a bigger seller, so many changes, and I've forgotten everything. Overwhelmed. Yeah, it has changed quite a bit. So, just a lot of updates, a lot of new things. I would just suggest, watching some shows, coming to stuff like this for maybe a week or two and, get your feet wet with what's changed and what's been updated. It really isn't, don't get overwhelmed. It's really not that bad. It's just, a lot of new ways of doing things. The app looks pretty different because of the way they've changed the way everything looks, but it pretty much functions essentially the same. But all of the stuff that they've changed really is good. So lots of good things going on. All right, let's see. We have a Friends Supporting Friends raid train starting at 12 Eastern. We are a group of new sellers. I'll be on at 4 p.m. Eastern selling women's clothing. That's awesome. So you got together and created a raid train to support each other. I love that. Very good. Very good to do that. So everybody give Time Will Tell Thrifts a follow and go find that Friends Supporting Friends raid train and bookmark it. And if you can, bookmark everyone in that raid train, all new sellers. Very cool. So you do it every Tuesday. Oh, that's fun. See, and that's a perfect way to support each other and give each other a boost and not feel so alone in being new, and you're getting an automatic little bit of a raid, whether it's huge or not. It's a nice little boost. So I love that idea. Very cool. Welcome in, Meanie Tam and Dana's Magical Nook, and Spacey T. You are welcome. Thanks for joining. Please read the show notes. Welcome, Lucy Girl, Deal Master Kim, Just Something About It. And if I missed anyone, welcome. All right, read the show notes. So you learn together and it's fun to support each other. Yeah, I love that. It's awesome. Very cool. And honestly, that's the way to do it. You know, you need to kind of make your own way to a certain extent and help each other make your own way, if you know what I mean. So find like-minded, meaning we're all new, we all sell in the same category, or just, you know, a group of people you met on one of these chats, and just start networking. You know, just start networking, and you'll find the people that are, you know, kind of in your tribe, your group, that will support you and help you. And yes, community is so important on this app. It really is a huge part of how Whatnot works. And if you're not community minded and you don't want to be part of the community, it's going to be harder for you. That's just kind of how it works. And people will notice if you're not part of the community and will be less likely to, you know, because they shop around. And if they notice that you don't support and network and raid and all of those other things, that is going to be noticeable. So community is a big part of how Whatnot works. Welcome in 406 Vintage Finds and Pedro 231982. Welcome in. Read the show notes. The very first starred bullet in the show notes is the Whatnot seller account. Make sure you have that account followed. So let me just show you that account. So you go out to the home page, type in Whatnot Sellers, all one word. It's the official Whatnot account for the Whatnot seller community. And today at noon, they are interviewing or talking about vinyl shipping and grading. I'm not sure if they're interviewing someone, but anyway, it's going to be all about the people who sell records and music and that kind of stuff. I always find these shows, even if I don't sell in the category of the people they're interviewing, you always get good tips and tricks from these shows. So make sure you follow that account and attend those shows if you can. So it's the Whatnot seller account, and the employees of Whatnot who are on the community support team do these shows, and they either do product updates, and that's what's happening on the 7th. They're doing the product spotlight, so they'll talk about any updates in certain categories or to the app. And yeah, just make sure you have those shows bookmarked and that you attend as many as you can. So really good information there. The second starred bullet in the show notes is Seller Academy. Make sure you're utilizing Seller Academy. It's where you can go to learn how to use the app. So if you are new or you're coming back, like Deb was saying, go through all the tutorials on Seller Academy to kind of refresh or to learn how to use the different aspects of the app. The third star bullet is a reminder that you can use help.whatnot.com to find information about any topic that you need. Just type in what you're searching for and you'll get all the articles and information about that topic that are available. And then Whatnot also has a blog, and I love the blog because they do articles and in-depth, more in-depth articles about different things. They talk about the updates They do features, they do surveys, they do spotlights, they talk about news. So the blog is a really good place to just learn in general what's going on and whatnot. So make sure you utilize those 4 resources in those starred bullets. And welcome in. Hey, Bargain Bin Bonanza, how are you? And yes, people on this app are wonderful. Lots of good people. And, you know, the few bad ones out there usually leave fast because they recognize that this is about community. And if you're going to be a bozo, you're not welcome. So they usually take off. So that's good. All right. Let's talk about a couple of things. In my shows, in my auction tab. Hey, Lynn's Bins, how are you? I got your cute little envelope with stickers in it, and that was nice. And my husband said, oh, those are really cute. That's a great idea to send the flower seeds. And I'm like, yeah, isn't that a cute idea? So he was impressed with your little sticker packet and your flower seeds. Hey, Lintana, how are you this morning? Welcome in. Yeah, so that's something that I need to always remember is to talk about the envelope shipping for people who want to learn how to do that. I just modded you, Lintana, so if you can stick around, great. If not, no worries. Hey, Christie's deals for you. How are you this morning? All right, so in my auction tab, so if you hit the store and then put your tab on the auction, in the auction, I have 8 items. These are not items I'm going to sell. These are the items that you can screenshot. So go through all of those and screenshot all the documents that are things that are tips, tricks, helps, things about whatever topic. So we've got attracting and keeping buyers. We've got choosing basic shipping settings. We've got my top 10 tips for sellers. We've got the envelope shipping guide. We have a sheet about goals. We have one about shaking the nerves, how to go live with confidence, shipping 101, and the last one in there is show restart instructions. So all of those are in the auction tab. They're in every show, these walk and talks that I do, so that you can just grab those and screenshot them. So if you go into my auction tab, and let's say you want to have that envelope shipping guide. So all you do, so envelope shipping guide, you just tap the picture, tap it again, and make it big, and you can take a nice screenshot, and there's your instructions for how to set up envelope, plain white envelope shipping. Okay, so all those are just resources for you to copy with a screenshot. Okay. Let me pin my top 10 tips list. Again, just tap the picture, tap it again to make it big, and that is your top 10 tips that I provide for everyone. This is the list that came out of, you know, I was doing these shows and people kept asking the same specific questions over and over, and I'm like, we need a list. So the list is there for you to kind of refer to, and that one you should print out if you can, or, you know, do something with it so you can refer back to it regularly, because those are the 10 things that you should be doing consistently on this app if you want to have consistent positive growth. Okay, doesn't mean you have to do you know, you don't have to grow and become, you know, a premier shop in, you know, 6 months if you're not on that pace. It just means if you're doing these things consistently, then your growth is always an upward curve instead of, you know, or down. So make sure you're doing all those things consistently. Okay. And notice that shipping is nowhere on that list. That's because that's a whole different beast. And you need to learn how to ship, because if you can't come on here and sell and then successfully fulfill your orders and ship them, then you can't be doing this. You can't be on Whatnot selling. Okay. Just a fact. Because that's, you're selling stuff. You've got to be able to ship the orders. Fact. Okay. So this list is more like, you've already got the basics down. Now, what do you need to do every single day, every single week to stay on a positive growth curve? So make sure you've got that top 10 list screenshotted and really always review it and go, okay, what am I missing? What am I missing? And you may find, oh, I'm not doing this, or oh, I'm not doing that. And you start doing things, that need to be done, so it helps you to have a better success with your shows. And we can go over some of those in a little bit more detail. Welcome in everyone that's joining. Christy's here. The Bree Boutique is here. Let's see. And in the not great. I think that's what that says. In the no, other great, something. Okay, welcome. Kramery's here. 406 is here. For sure is here. That's cute. For sure. And Sylvia's here. So, does anyone have any specific questions about Whatnot, where to find information, something that's going on that you have questions about? Shipping usually is one of the big topics. And in the auction tab, I've got two different things about shipping. There's one that's called choosing basic shipping settings. Let me pin that one. This one is tied to a specific show that I did last week. And in the show notes, if you'll go and subscribe to my channel on YouTube, you can rewatch that show. We went over in detail how to decide what your basic shipping settings should be based on what you sell. And I showed you in that show the boxes, how to figure out the different boxes, how to, decide what's going to work for you. We talked about all of that, and I did a lot of visuals. So make sure that if you need help with shipping, that you screenshot that choosing basic shipping settings that I have pinned there, and go watch that YouTube video of last week's show. You go to YouTube and go under lives, because I multicast onto YouTube, and so the shows are live on YouTube. So this show is currently live on YouTube as well. Advice for doing your first show. Mine is Wednesday. All right, so let's pin that top 10 list again. And really, this is your advice. Okay. Number 1, schedule a lot of shows. So if you have your first show scheduled, you should always have more shows scheduled so that people have something to bookmark after your first show. So schedule your first show, but make sure you have additional shows on the schedule. That's my number 1 tip. That's how you get found. That's how people can bookmark you to come back the next time. Okay? Number 2 is to go live. Just start going live. Do practice shows. That's in number 5. But let's talk about the rest first. Okay, number 3, get items listed. For your very first show, you should have 20 to 30 items pre-listed in your auction tab, and you should have stuff in your buy it now. That's how people know what you have to offer. If someone comes into your show and you have nothing listed, it's like going into a store and there's nothing on the shelf. You're not really open for business, are you? Because there's nothing for people to see. So get items listed. List, 20 to 30 items that you can run in your first live show, and have items available in the buy it now and in your marketplace. Make sure you have lots of listings. Number 4, stay live for at minimum 1 hour. And when you're new, you should be staying on 2 to 3 hours, because that's how people can start finding you. When you're new, it takes a while for people to start finding you. So stay on for long enough for people to find you. Number 5, get feedback. I'm just reading off of my top 10 list. Get feedback. Do a practice show, do a rehearsal, and make sure that you get feedback to make sure you have good lighting, good sound, good internet connection. People can hear you, people can see you, your items look nice. Do a practice show where you invite a friend, your mom, your cousin, whatever, whoever, to come on from a different location and tell you all those things. Okay. Number 6, run your items. Don't just show them. In order to have success on here selling, you need to run things. It would be like having a glass case and showing everyone in the glass case, but never taking it out to allow them to buy it. So if you don't run your items and you just show them, you're going to have very limited sales. Run the auction items. Okay, that's number 6. Number 7, always raid when you're finished. That's how you build community. That's how you start getting your name out there. All that good stuff. Number 8, start looking for and signing up for raid trains. After you've gotten your feet wet and you know how to run a show, start looking for opportunities for raid trains. You network to find out about raid trains. You go out to the For You page, you type in the words raid train, and you look for raid trains, and you find out who organized them, and you ask. You have to network to find out about raid trains. It kind of usually happens somewhat organically. Also, you can, once you've learned how to use the app, you can create your own raid train if you want to, and invite other sellers to join you. Okay. Number 9, get help. Use the Seller Academy tutorials. Use seller help on Whatnot. Attend seller help chat shows. Use and find good moderators. So don't feel like you have to do it all alone. Get help when you are confused or you need help. Use all those things. And number 10 is engage. Figure out ways to be more engaging. So one of the exercises that I have people do is I tell people to go take a notepad and a paper or pencil and go to 10 shows that you've never been to before. Go find 10 sellers in different categories that you've never been to before. Go into the shows, and I want you to watch long enough that you can write down, why did I want to stay? Why did I want to leave? Okay. So obviously, if you want to stay, I want you to write down why. Why do I want to stay? What's fun about this show? What's engaging? What's pulling me in? And then why did I want to leave? Write all those down if you go into shows and you're like, I'm out of here. Stay long enough to figure out why you want to leave, but sometimes it doesn't take long to figure that out, right? So if you do that exercise, you've got a big list of the things I should be doing and things I should not be doing. And it helps you to figure out what's going to work for you and how are you going to be the best you on your live shows. Okay. Meanie, I posted my items to buy now. How do I get them to the auction? So when you open a listing, so let me just show you. When you create a listing, you have options. So if we create a product, the first thing you do is add a picture. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through it. So I upload a picture and add that. And then I pick the category it's in. Then I give it a title. And then I give it a description. And then I say if there's more than one available. And then you can choose variants if it's a buy it now item. We're going to put it in the auction. Right now, see how it says buy it now? That's the default. If I want it to be an auction item, I just change it to an auction item. That's how you initially add it. Now, if you've already got items in your buy it now and you want to change them to an auction, just open one of your items that you already have. So I'm going to go into my buy it now, and I'm going to pick these rose gold markers that I have in my buy it now. And I'm going to click the little 3 lines to edit. So edit listing. All right, this is the buy it now item, right? So if I scroll down, see how it says it's a buy it now item? Boom, right next to it, what does it say? Auction. I'm just going to change it to an auction item and save it. And if you look in my auction tab, those pens are now going to be an auction item instead of a buy it now item. Where'd it go? All right, it should be there because I just saved it. There we go. It takes a second sometimes to load. So those are now in my auction. Okay. Do you do that before or during the show? Well, if you want them to be available as auction items before, do it before so that you can, have them set as auction items before you go live. That would be my suggestion, yes, to do it before. But you can always change something to an auction item during the show as well if you want to. But you can also run buy it now items as auction items. So in my buy it now, I've got these Barbie stickers, right? If I want to, I can run it as an auction. Hit the 3 dots and I can just run it. See, it's running as an auction if I hit, it lets you choose the things. So I'm going to start it as an auction. So those Barbie stickers, can you see that, are now running. They were in my buy it now, but I can run them as an auction item. Oh, we got rated. Who rated us? Sorry, I missed that. Let's see who rated. I'm not seeing a raid. Who rated us, you guys? Because I don't even see a raid in here. Raid. I'm scrolling, and I don't see a raid. Oh, there it is. Pit Love rated us. That's weird. It's showing up on the one screen, but not the other. Thank you so much, Pit Love, for the raid. Everybody give Pit Love a follow. So that's weird. On my iPad, it's not showing that I got rated. On my mod screen that I'm using on the other phone, it does show it. That's bizarre. Okay. Something new. All right. So yeah, that's how you change your listings. You just go in, you edit the listing, change it to what you want it to be. Okay. That's how it's that simple. And you can run buy it now auction items as an auction. Just hit edit and run as auction if you want to. Okay. Yeah, really go through when you list an item, really go through every field as you go through and go, okay, what's this? What's this? What's this? And it will help you figure out, all the different things you can do with listings. The awesome thing about listings is once you create a listing, you never have to enter that exact item again because you can just go in, add more units, change the picture if you need to, whatever you want to do to update it. You can change it from a buy it now item to an auction item and back and forth. You can even change it to a giveaway. Once you change it to a giveaway, though, it does disappear after it has run because a giveaway is a one-time thing. So just keep that in mind. If you change something to a giveaway, that listing then expires and you can't use it again because it ran and was given away. That's kind of the idea, right? All right. So yeah, just go through all those fields. Make sure you understand how they all work. All right. And now I need to go and unpin that. And let's change this listing that I just put in as an auction item. I'm going to edit it and put it back in the buy it now. So those rose gold pen markers, I'm just going to go back in and change it to a buy it now item so it goes back in my bin. Okay. All right. And Pit Love, thank you again for the raid. Green Bags. Greenback Finds, thank you for joining. Did I miss Saved by Thrift? My mod quit on me because Whatnot is too addictive and spends too much money buying stuff in general. So yeah, that happens. I mean, it is. So Whatnot can be very addictive, and there are some people who cannot, no matter how hard they try, they have a really hard time controlling their spending, and you have to honor that. If someone is like, I can't do Whatnot because I don't know how to stop buying, because it's just like people who have any other kind of addiction. If it doesn't work for them, you have to honor that and be nice about it. So, and you do need to be considerate and try not to, try not to pressure people too much. Everybody has a budget. Encourage people to stay within their budget. Don't do things that are predatory as far as trying to get people to buy things they can't afford. Be community minded in that way as well. I think that will help you in the long run, to let people know that you understand, and encourage people to, be part of your life and be part of the community without feeling obligated to spend money. Because you want everybody there, whether they can buy or not. Because the bigger the audience, the more active the chat, the higher you show up in algorithm for the people who can buy. So always encourage, more support of just being there and having fun and socializing and being part of the community, and let people know you understand. If, I want you here, and if you can't buy, I'm not going to dish you and want you to leave just because you can't buy. You make your friends, you have everybody, and be understanding if people are like, I'm just here to support, hey, so glad you're here and no worries. And, be very mindful of that, because it is an addictive thing as far as the selling part of it goes. And we need people to be here, but not feel like they have to buy. And you have to honor and respect people who honestly feel like they can't control that and need to be gone. People take vacations from apps like this when they feel like they've got to, and be respectful of that. Yeah, don't push people to buy. You have what you have. If they want it and they can afford it, great. If not, you still want them there. You still want their interactions, and you still want to have them part of your community. In a show yesterday, heard sellers say bloop me. Can you explain what blooping is? Yeah. So when someone gifts the chat, so if you go into my buy it now, so hit this shop and go over to the buy it now tab, and see how I have different things in there that are lower cost. I have a specific one that I titled bloop. And what that is that when someone gifts to the chat, it makes this fun little noise that people call bloop. So I can't demonstrate the sound because I can't buy something out of my own shop to gift, but it just makes that cute little bloop, and it comes up on the screen and it says so-and-so gifted, bought a gift. Oh, so there you go. Lynn's Bins just did it. Thank you, Lynn's Bins. So you guys just saw that. So when you go into the buy it now, you can buy gifts and gift to chat randomly, or you can gift to a specific person if you want to, or you can also send gifts to someone off of the app by putting in their name and address. So that's a newer feature since you've been here. It's awesome. Let me show you on here in the buy it now. If you're in the buy it now, next to the buy button, you've got the little gift on the right hand side. That's what you would click to buy a gift. And it pops up a menu and you can choose it, like I said, to either gift to someone specific or to randomly gift to the chat. So that's what bloop means because of that little sound it makes. So, and that's a very popular feature now on Whatnot because a lot of people love to give gifts. I'm one of them. And that's why I tell people, if you have shows and you don't have stuff in your buy it now, you're missing out on a lot of sales because people love to go into people's buy it nows, find little things they can buy for themselves or to gift, because it's a way that you can get attention, show people that you're community minded, give people gifts. I love it. It's so much fun. It's one of my favorite features on the app right now is being able to gift. So yeah, make sure you know how to do that. And thank you, Lynn's Bins, for demonstrating that for us. All right. I really need help syncing my tablet and phone for a show. I am so not figuring out. I really need help. Okay, what do you need? What do you mean by syncing? So when you go live, you need to, first of all, make sure that your app is signed into the correct account on both your iPhone and your tablet. Because it's not going to be in your show if you're not signed in on the app in both places. And you need to go live from your phone, because I'm assuming you're using your phone as your camera. And then you just need to open the show. You don't go live from the iPhone or the tablet, I mean. You go live from the iPhone or the phone, if it's an Android, and then you open the show on your tablet. So you just open it. And you need to have it signed into both on both devices into your account. So I'm suspecting that if it's not working, it may be that you don't have it signed in, or you were maybe trying to go live from the tablet when you should have been going live from the phone. So yeah, you go live from the phone and then just open it, and you can have it open on the show before you go live. You just don't go live from the tablet. Yeah, and then you can run your show from the tablet. Yeah. So that's, yeah, just make sure you press go live on your phone only. Because that maybe was your mistake, is you were pressing go live on the tablet and then the phone is just opening in the show and it wasn't showing everything. It was trying to stream the show from the tablet. So yeah, that's my guess. Okay. All right. Hey, Endless Treasures. Jenny, how are you? All right. Let me see if I missed any other questions. If you have questions, make sure you put a question mark on it. Once you sell an item, I'm on the $17.99 house. Once you sell an item in an auction, does it immediately disappear from your auction items list? Yes, if it only had one unit. So if you sell an item that had multiple units, it will stay there until you sell them all. If it only had one unit, it will disappear, yes, because it's then sold and you can't access it anymore in the auction. So that's the answer to that. But that listing doesn't disappear. It just goes inactive as sold. You can find it in your inventory under inactive. And if you open it and add more units, it can become live again and you can add it to another show. So, you know, but you would only do that if you have more of that specific item that you can then sell. All right. Welcome in Union Creek and Rockin' SA. Deals for steals. How does your show bin keep changing pictures on your home page? So it kind of randomly rotates, but this is a tip. Go in and reorder your bin items every once in a while by changing, if you use a numbering system, change numbers around so that it will show a different item as the top item. But that's a new feature where it's just shuffling through items in the Buy It Now. So it kind of just features something different every once in a while. How do you get the label to mail to the seller? So, Meanie, you need to go to the seller tutorials in, so that second bullet, starred bullet in my show notes, Seller Academy. You need to go learn all about how to ship, but you get the labels by going to Seller Hub Shipping. And then if you've sold some items by that show, because it groups them by show, you'll have some items there that it will show you that you need to ship that you sold. So it's Seller Hub Shipping. Okay, but go watch the tutorials so that you can make sure you know how to ship. How do you get on a raid train? So you get on a raid train by networking with other sellers and finding out about raid train opportunities and asking if you can be part of it. You can also just go out to the For You page and type in the words raid train and find raid trains and figure out by reading the thumbnail or the show notes or asking the moderator who organized that raid train. Then you reach out to that seller and find out how you can get involved next time if possible. So you just have to network. Okay. All right. You are welcome. Why don't stickers show up in the Buy It Now with 73-cent shipping, but do in the auction? They should show up that same way in both places. Oh, thank you for coming in and have a wonderful show. Everybody give Meanie a follow. Let me just make sure. So here's Meanie Lee Tamara right here. And she's got a show tomorrow. And Meanie, before you have that show tomorrow, make sure you get some more shows on your schedule so that people have another show to bookmark. Okay, so I just bookmarked that for you. Everybody give Meanie a follow and bookmark that show. All right, so I was just answering the question of the 73-cent shipping. So if you go into my Buy It Now, and so just do this for me. Go into the Buy It Now and look at that Barbie sticker and pretend like you're going to buy it. What does it show you the shipping cost is going to be? Okay, that's a Buy It Now item, right? Oh, it's showing $4. Yeah, that doesn't make sense because that one is set up for paper, plain white envelope. Let me see it. Let me just look in this other phone. Yeah, because I'm on my own phone, it's not showing me anything, obviously, because I can't ship something to myself. But I was hoping it would show me on this one. Yeah, it's just offering me free pickup. So it should be showing the 73 cents because that's how that item is set up. Let me just edit it to make sure that we don't have a glitch. All right, this one is set up as sticker and the shipping is envelope. Yeah, I don't know why it's showing that because it should be showing 73 cents. What does it show on the one that is the bloop one? This one right here. Someone look at that one and tell me what it says. So if I run, when I ran the, which one did I run in the, or I didn't run one, someone gifted something. It showed 73 cents when you gifted, right, Lynn's Bins? When you gifted someone something, did it charge you just the 73 cents. All right, where do sales for bin items show up? Well, if it's a bin item during a live show, it just shows up in the shipping for that show. If someone buys something in your marketplace outside of a live show, you do get an email alert, and it will also show up in shipping. So when you go to ship, you'll see it in there. Do you have to have a tax ID number to sell or business license? Well, that's up to you, Teresa. I would recommend, if you plan on growing big enough that you're going to want to, do it as a business, that you should get one and that you should get a license in your state. Just gives you the advantage of being able to buy wholesale if you can, and also, get set up as a business so that for tax purposes you can file as a business. So yeah. When I ran the auction on the Barbie stickers, it showed 73 cents when I ran it in the auction, but $4 in the bin. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to check into that, Chatty. Let me screenshot that and ask, because that shouldn't be showing that way at all. It should be showing, that it's 73 cents shipping. But what did Lynn's Bins gift to someone? Oh, PJ's saying hers shows 73 cents. Okay, that's weird. Oh, PJ, that reminds me. I found 2 yards of fabric that are from that kit that you bought. So remind me to show it to you. If you pop in my show today, I'll show it to you. And if you want some of it for that border, it's from that line of that fabric from that kit. Oh, you think it's a PC? Oh, if you're on a PC, that is true. Because PC shopping is different. Web shopping is different than mobile app. And it might be showing you a different thing. So, but that still shouldn't be the same. Oh yeah, thanks Deals for Steals. That's kind of the thing. So Lynn's Bins, you didn't notice. So I'm assuming it did show up 73 cents for you, right? Does your option actually show envelope when I add stickers in my bin ship? Yes. So you should if you have it set up correctly, when you're adding items and you choose sticker or card, sports card as the category, you should have the option to enter envelope as the shipping profile. So make sure you have those set up correctly when you enter them. Sometimes in Canada, it only gives you the 0 to 1 ounce. But here it should be giving you envelope. So make sure you have it turned on in your shows. So let me pin that envelope shipping guide, because it's kind of a tricky thing to get set up, because if you miss any of the steps, it doesn't work. So I just pinned that. Make sure you screenshot that and go through it again. Because if you have, here's the thing, you got to turn it on in your main profile shipping settings, the envelope shipping. So you go into your account, into your seller hub, and go to shipping. And under domestic, the very first thing is that first class letter. If you don't have that turned on, it won't let you send envelopes. And once you've turned that on in your main profile shipping settings, that will be the default for any shows you create after that. But if you had shows you already had scheduled, you need to go into those shows that are already scheduled and update that same thing, because it won't automatically update it when you update your main profile, because Whatnot allows you to have different shipping settings per show. So you have to update it in your existing shows as well. So, and it states that on that little shipping guide. So make sure you have it turned on in all the different shows. that you already had scheduled. If that makes sense. All right. Let's see. I have been noticing weights changing on many items already set up, and I am constantly checking before I run, and the weights change constantly. Ooh, okay. So, Pit Love, where do you usually enter your items? Because that shouldn't be happening. Where do you usually enter them? Do you usually enter them on the web version or on a mobile device? And it shouldn't be changing. So once you list something, the weight should be whatever you entered. So that's kind of fishy to me. I don't know what's happening. But I kind of wonder if you're entering something on the web version. Yeah, I mean, make sure you don't have two different accounts going on. And that you're using either one or the other and not both. So if it's happening all the time, I would open a case with customer service and show them pictures of that happening. So like take a picture of an item and then you open it again and you see that it changed. Because that's really fishy to me. That should not be happening. Okay. And then send it to them because there might be something glitching. Or like I suspect, make sure that you're signed in to your exact account on all devices that you're changing things on and that it's the same account. Make sure you don't have duplicate accounts. Okay. All right. Deals for Steals asks, how do you get mods? Mods are pretty much an organic thing, meaning that you have someone that has been a good customer for a while and is always in your shows, and you just ask them to moderate. Or you meet somebody on the app that's in, maybe not in your category, or maybe they are in your category. Maybe you find another seller and agree to mod for each other. You just kind of have to network and find somebody that will do it for you. And my husband always mods our shows, but I often have other people that have been in my shows for a while. I used to have Lovely Pinto as my regular mod. She decided she had to go back to work full time, and so she's not here as much as she used to be. Well, hardly at all because she works full time, but sometimes she's in our night shows. And I miss her dreadfully. But Lintana sometimes mods for us. Amy sometimes mods for us. So yeah, just find someone that has been part of, your experience, that has supported you, and yeah. Oh, you just haven't seen the envelope. Oh, okay. Yeah. So look at that again. But I think if it's working for you with the 0 to 1 ounce, then it should be fine. So Pit Love says I enter everything in my phone. Okay. So yeah, there's something glitchy going on if it's changing stuff on you. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is there a Whatnot Academy for new sellers? Yes. So Deals for Steals. Look at my show notes. The address is selleracademy.whatnot.com. It's the second starred bullet there in the show notes. And you can go through all the tutorials on there. They walk you through all the different, topics of how to run a basic show and how to go live and how to list items and all that stuff. So yeah, you can go through that Seller Academy, all those videos and tutorials, and do them all. Some of them aren't as up to date as others, but they do a pretty good job of going through all the basic stuff with you on there, and helping you know where to find things, how to do certain things. So make sure you go through all the tutorials on there. You are welcome. Hey, yeah, whatever. How's it going? let's see. Let me just check and make sure if I missed any questions. If I missed something, let me know. Just repeat it again in the chat if you have a question on anything. Welcome in, Miss Bogey. How are you? All right. So, yeah, just follow each other. Make sure you are bookmarking each other's shows. Feel free to shout out your shows in the chat and ask people to follow you and bookmark your shows. That's free form in here in these kind of shows to do that. And if you'll do that for each other, it really does make a difference as new sellers to come in and just get a few people to give you a bookmark and a follow. Even though they may or may not be able to come to your shows, it boosts your numbers. And you need that little bit of a boost when you're new to just get you started. And then you start finding your organic customers. So Lynn's Bins has a Rusty Crusty Americana Raid Training show coming up on Sunday. So everybody give Lynn's Bins a follow. And she has fun shows. She has lots of cool vintage decor, kind of fun stuff if you're into that. And if you're not, it's still fun to watch. I don't buy a lot in that category, but I love to watch the shows. So I don't buy in that category right now because I'm a seller. I have no room. I have no room for decorating in my house right now. But I love that kind of decor and I love to watch the shows. So it's kind of fun. Deals for Steals, you are so welcome. And hopefully that you figure out some of those other issues. All right. Yeah, please shout out your shows and feel free to advertise and tell people what you've got going on. And definitely go to a lot of these types of shows. You really do learn a lot. You meet people, you get tips, and you just find out some of the stuff that you need. It was invaluable for me. There were only a few sellers on Whatnot doing shows like this when I was first new, and they helped me immensely. So, definitely go watch as many of these types of shows. Be careful about advice from someone for shipping who doesn't sell anything closely related to what you sell. What I mean by that is, I give out general shipping advice, and I'm part of the community team, and we share the official documents from Whatnot about shipping. But there are sellers who are big sellers who do shipping completely different because they sell in such high volume. You can't do shipping the way they do shipping unless you're selling enough that it makes sense. Oh, thank you, Lynn's Bins, for the tip. Very generous of you. Appreciate that. So Ocean or Ocantiques and Tantique and Auctions has a show Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pop-ups, $5 start, vintage jewelry, etc. So everyone, please give them a follow and bookmark that. And I need to read your name correctly. Ocantiques and Ocantique and Auctions. There we go. Welcome in. Hey, in a Violet World, how are you? And Carlos and Brianna. So there you go. So OC Antique and Auctions. There you go. That makes more sense. OC Antiques. All right. Sivako, welcome in. Everybody read the show notes if you haven't already. Make sure you've got all the information that's in the show notes screenshotted, because that gives you those 4-star bullets. If you want to rewatch past shows that we've done, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you need help with shipping, last week we did a show, or I did a show where we talked in detail about shipping, and I showed visuals. I walked you through some things on the screen. Go rewatch that show. Go to my YouTube channel and go under lives and you'll see the one that was called Don't Sink Your Shipping. And I just pinned the document that I shared in that show, Choosing Basic Shipping Settings. So use this to help you decide what shipping settings are going to work for you. Okay. And yeah, just like I said, make sure that it makes sense for what you sell, because honestly, that's the main thing of figuring out shipping. You can go watch other people's shows, but if they sell something completely different than you, the way you do shipping is going to be different. I sell mostly fabric and crafts, and I do mostly flat rate, buyer pays max $9.21. Every once in a while, I do a show that I do differently because we're selling something that won't work with that shipping setting. You know, if you don't sell things that are smaller, easy to ship, easy to pack in flat rate boxes, then that's not going to work for you. So the shipping has to make sense for what you sell. So make sure that you use that Choosing the Basic Shipping Setting guide that I just pinned. Just tap the document. So here you go. Tap that. Tap it again. Screenshot it. And read through that and write down what makes sense for how you should do your shipping. Okay? And then again, like I said, once you sell at a high volume, that can all change, because if you're selling at a high enough volume that you can offer reduced shipping, even though you're having to pay some of it, it's worth it because you can offset it by how much you're selling. All right, let's see. PJ, your seller chats are great. I liked your suggestion a couple of weeks ago to go into 10 or 20 shows to see what made you stay or leave. Yeah, I talked about that again today. So that's one of my exercises I tell people to do. Go find 10 or more shows that you've never been into. Don't pick someone you already know and like and go too often. Pick totally new ones and write down, why did you want to stay or why did you want to leave? And start getting some ideas about why, the way people run their shows, why it's, what works for people to stay. Why do people want to stay in that show? Or why do they want to leave? And I'll be honest with you, Whatnot is a constantly changing thing, and you are going to have to always reassess what you're doing. And that's why that top 10 tips list is important, because you have to constantly reassess, am I doing all these things? And what do I need to change because this isn't working anymore? And sometimes it's as simple as you haven't realized that your lighting sucks, or you haven't realized that they can't hear you, or you haven't realized that your pictures are horrible, or I don't know, there's something that's not working. So constantly reassess, look at those top 10 tips, and just always go through and make sure you're doing all the things consistently, and always get feedback. Always ask your audience, can you hear, can you see, is this showing up good, blah 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 blah. Because if you don't ask, people are just going to come in and leave because they can't, you're not doing something that needs to be done to keep an audience in the room. Okay. And about, really, this is an entertainment social media app as much as it is selling. And if you don't have a fun, inviting, positive, upbeat show, people probably won't stay. So you've got to do things to keep an audience. That's just a fact. So if you do what you need to do within what you have, your abilities, your personality to bring the best show you can bring. If that makes sense. Hey, Jess Reed, how are you? I'm good. And Velvet says 100% agree. Yep. And there's Lisa by Design. How are you? Good morning. And honestly, what you come into whatnot wanting to do, maybe it won't work. Maybe it doesn't work. You thought you had, what you want to sell and what's going to work, and you try it and it's not working. Then you need to change. You need to either change your product offering, change how you do your shows, change the times that you do your shows. I don't know. I can't tell you. You just have to constantly reassess, is this working? And what do I need to change if it's not? And you obviously can't change yourself, but you definitely can change how you do things, your approach. You can try to liven things up. You can change the environment, whatever. Okay. Let's see. I've been going live the last 4 days to see what times and days work best, and I'm getting some great intel for my audience. See, perfect. So try different things. If something's not working, don't keep doing it. Change and try something different. And try different times, different days, different types of shows. See what's going to work best. Okay? And don't be afraid to change. Yeah, in a violent world, you can change your attitude. Yeah. Sometimes that's what helps. Yeah, if you go into a show with the attitude of, nobody wants my stuff, this sucks, I'm not good at it, blah, 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 that's going to come across, isn't it? Even if you don't say it out loud, it's definitely going to come across, and people don't need that. They're here to be entertained, to have some fun, and maybe buy a few things, right? And we have enough negativity. So if you have that kind of attitude, it's probably not going to work. So, yeah. All right. Yeah. Do not talk bad about yourself or your show during your live. Just don't do that. People don't need that. It's awkward. It's weird. People are going to leave, or they might be like, I'm so sorry, and stay for a minute, feel bad for you, but then leave, So that's not the way to get traction on here. A pity party is only going to last so long, and then nobody's going to come anymore. So don't, try to be, even if there are things in your life that are hard, because everybody has crap, right? Everybody has crap. Make Whatnot the place where you can escape and have fun and do something different. Don't bring your baggage to your Whatnot show. Make your Whatnot show your escape, the place you come to have fun, the place you come to interact with your friends. Because everybody has other problems in their life, and it's not that you can't share a little bit of that. You can, but it's more fun and more inviting and more positive to make it a fun, exciting, more engaging atmosphere, and a place where people feel welcome and that they can share. Lisa by Design says, I'm trying Wednesday night show tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. My usual day is Sunday. You've been wanting to add a few more days to my schedule. Yeah. So perfect. Try something new. I am constantly changing how I do things. Constantly. So we were doing a show that we were doing a 60 and 60 on Mondays, and it just wasn't working. I didn't like it. It was just kind of, I don't know what it was about it. So we aren't doing that anymore. I think I have one more on my schedule, and we've just been changing them to other things. And we've been having fun because I've been doing just a different type of show every Monday and trying different things. And it's been a lot of fun. And I've been doing some of the stuff that I've been wanting to declutter for years in those shows, because I'm like, well, we haven't done this yet. Let's do this, and it's been a lot of fun. So switch it up. If something's not working, change it. Don't feel, don't be afraid to change it. Yes, and I agree. It doesn't hurt to just go live. You never know. Every day has different crowds, different people. Every time has different people. And honestly, when you have a long show, the people that were there at the beginning of the show, sometimes you have a few that hang on through, but mostly it's a completely different audience by the end of the show. And you could run through stuff that you've already run through again because they weren't here for the beginning of the show. You just never know. And I always tell people, always have a backup plan, because maybe what you originally had planned for that show, nobody's liking it, nobody's buying it, nobody's wanting it. Always have a backup plan. Okay, well, nobody wants this, let's do this instead. Kind of have a thing that you're going to do instead if that doesn't fly. And I will say though, that curated shows, when you've carefully planned, carefully listed, and really put some effort into making it a nice show, those usually will do well and be better because you've planned it out. You've got things pre-listed. You've got a thumbnail that reflects what you're going to sell. You've been promoting it. You've been talking about it. Those will probably be some of your best shows because you really put a lot of effort into making it a good show. In a Violet World says, I also have to stop looking at who else is live at the same time as me. Most of the time, those shows are just bookmarks and they reschedule anyway. Yeah, don't look at it if that's, if you're sitting there going, oh, maybe I shouldn't go live because so-and-so's on or so-and-such is on or whatever. Yeah, don't do that. Just, have a schedule, go live and stick to it. It's really, really hard. And I'm bad at this. I have to do this myself because I'm really bad at that, looking and second guessing and comparing. And so I have to make a conscious effort to not do that. And I think that's important, to try to just be you and just do what you're going to do. And if it's not working for you, switch what you're doing, but stop comparing yourself to everybody else and stop looking to see who's live and stop, just do what you do best. And the people that like you and that want to be with you and like what you have, they're going to come and support you. And yes, people do skip around, and don't be offended. If they have more than one person that they like their shows and you're on at the same time, they might be popping in and out, and that's fine. You do that too, probably, right? So why would you be offended if someone else does that? That's just kind of the nature of the beast, And if you have exciting, engaging things going on, they're probably going to stay because they don't want to miss something. But if they don't like what you're showing in your auction that day, and they want to go see something else, don't be offended. That's just how it is. But that's why I say always, always, always have items in your buy it now as well, because those faithful customers who love to be with you, if they don't like what you have in the auction that day, because that's just not their jive, but you have awesome stuff in your buy it now, they're going to support you by buying buy it now items. So always, always have good stuff in your buy it now. And sometimes maybe your best stuff is in the buy it now. Consider that. Sometimes it's better to have, some really, really hot, nice items in your buy it now and people will pay full price because they don't have to bid against other people to get it. They can just buy it. So put some nice items in there. You can always do reverse auctions too, where you have it in the auction and you don't run it until you get some pre-bids, or until you have the audience asking for it, or you have it in the buy it now and you run it as an auction. Use your listings to your best benefit. A really good person who can show that is go watch a show with Julie Becker. She's a master at that. Encouraging people to pre-bid, encouraging people to go look at the items in her auction and in her buy it now. And she runs items out of the buy it now. So go watch Julie Becker if you want to see how to do that masterfully. She's really good at that. Okay. Flash sales. You guys, flash sales is a newer update to the app. It's not super new, but it's been on for a while. But flash sales are an amazing tool for you to be able to make sales outside of just the regular running an auction. Do flash sales out of your buy it now. They work. They're awesome. They're fun. They get some excitement going. And you don't necessarily have to do flash sales on multiple unit items. It can be a single item that you want to feature and run at a special price. So put something really awesome in your buy it now and have it set for a flash sale, and have it set so people cannot buy it until you flash sell it, and feature it and then do a flash sale, and you're going to sell it probably. Okay. So yeah, just try it out. Yeah, you do Retail Rebellion. You just need to do it. And flash sales are a lot of fun. So, and you can do a flash sale for a longer period of time. So if you have something that you have a lot of units of and it's a nice deal, but you just want people to casually be able to go pick it up, just put it on flash sale for like 30 minutes. And, tell people this item's on flash sale for the next 30 minutes. You can pick this up for X amount instead of regular price. If it's a hot item, you want to do a shorter amount of time to have it be more, put the pressure on to get it in that short time. So yeah, just try it. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, there's just some amazing updates and tools have added for us to be able to do a lot of fun things and enhance what we can do in our shows. Another one is variants in your items that are in your buy it now. You now have the capability to add variants. So like if you have an item and you have 5 of them and 2 of them are green and 3 are yellow, you can list that item and add a variant where they can choose the green or the yellow. So make sure you know how to do that. So it's only for buy it now items. So items you're putting in your bin. There's an option now on the listing. Just look for it as you're adding the item called variants, and you just click that and it will have you add. And it can be color, it can be size, it can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't allow you, however, to have a different price. So they have to be the same price, and it's just showing the same pictures no matter what you buy. But it allows them to pick a different item. Pick green or yellow or whatever. And you can have different units per item. So make sure you know how to do that too. All right. Did I miss any questions or comments that I should read? Thanks for being here, everyone. And yeah, make sure you copy the stuff in the show notes. I wish they had a duplicate item option, or do they? So they did used to, Lynn's Bins. They took it away. But the nice thing is once you sell something, go into your inventory and find that item that's sold and just add more units. And then assign it to a show, and you can always change the picture, the description, so you can technically kind of like duplicate it by just using it again. So yeah, for some reason they took duplicate away because they changed how the inventory works. But that's how you do it, is you just go into your inventory, go to inactive, find that item, and you can just recreate it by adding more units and then making it active and change the pictures or whatever you need to do. Yep, that's how you do it. So yeah, it's nice because once you've created a listing, you never have to recreate it. You just go find it and, update it, change it, whatever you need to do. Just be careful and make sure, if you have an item that you didn't sell all the units and it went inactive just because you weren't using it anymore, be careful not to have that show up in shows if you do if you go in and pull your items from a previous show into a new show, make sure that if something that you actually are sold out of doesn't get pulled over. I've had that happen before. So ask me why I'm telling you that, right? So make sure when you clone, so the option to clone on web version, you can go into past shows, scroll down to your past shows, clone the items from a previous show into a new show. As long as it's sold out, it will never reappear again. But if you did have one that you actually sold, but you had additional units on there for whatever reason, just make sure and go through and get rid of that item if you actually don't have any more of it. So be careful with your inventory in that way. And the way to prevent that is just to only put as many units as you actually have, so that you don't run into that problem. All right. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, I need to get going here pretty quick. So I'm going to go kind of look around and see who's live that we can raid into. If you have any last questions or comments, and please go into my auction tab and just screenshot any of those documents that will be helpful to you, and screenshot the show notes, because that's all the places that you can go to get help. And Whatnot Sellers has a show tomorrow at, let's see what time it was. I didn't remember. Today at noon. Today at noon Mountain Time. So that's going to be 10 a.m. East. So coming up pretty soon. And they are talking about vinyl shipping and grading demos. So it's kind of like specific to the record category, it looks like. But I always like to watch their shows no matter what they're doing, because you get lots of information about tips and tricks for different things. So that's on Whatnot Sellers today at 12 Mountain Time. That would be 10 a.m. Eastern Time. All right, let me go see who is live that we can go right into. Let's see. Is anyone in doing a seller help show? Let's check. Looks like Red Rooster and I are the ones on me basically today. So we'll just raid over to her. So Red Rooster is awesome. She's in Canada, and but she's a lot of fun. So we'll go right into her, and She can answer lots of questions about whatnot, just not necessarily about shipping. And please follow each other network on here and on her show. And you guys are welcome. And let's go get a raid started. I didn't see any last minute questions, so I think we're ready to go. And if you want to watch my past shows, they are on YouTube under Draz on Whatnot. It's in my show notes. And you can go rewatch any of my shows because we stream live. All right, here we go over to the Red Rooster. And you guys have a wonderful day. And we'll catch you soon. Here we go.